Soil harbors all the nutrients needed for plant growth. It is believed to be the heart of agriculture and requires a conducive and healthy environment for all its nutrients, macroflora, and other organisms to thrive. Sadly, in Ghana, soil fertility is fast declining due to human activities, especially excessive applications of inorganic fertilizer and poor farming practices. In today's episode of The Food Chain, we take a look at how dire the situation is and ways to restore Ghana's degrading soil lands. My name is Emmanuel Kweku. Stay with us.
Augustine Fosu and his colleague farmer, Augustine Nkrumah, joined a team of researchers to fetch samples of sand from their farm to be tested at the laboratory. The exercise is to know the soil profile of their parcel of land. They both farm in Yasi Ejamfo, a suburb of Kuntanase, the district capital of Bosomtwe in the Ashanti region. In recent years, the two farmers have failed to cultivate enough from their piece of land handed them by their forefathers.
Last year, me Nkrumah, na me timete rubber kese no 15 acre. But this year, the year me ya mo ayekwa afuru mu amuhunu se dia esiti a no bai na yebasa no. Na tia rubber mienu pe. Edisika ye di wura mu adwuma ni mu sika ni nyina yensa anka sika ni nyina ahye.
Asase no yenum adekura kan asase no. First ni ye cabbage na eyeye pa. Na fiwe no kondie ye na edusa enoma na ebebo no a yale bi ye de ye fra na bright minimu se de na mo de ombesia a kire ne de na enoma na ye yero enti ne bonu ye nya enoma to bi ha ye kra etimi nya 100 na 150 bars no ye wie bi a 20 bars e bi kra elu ti ama e ka suso ana ye famu ti na o hawo ba ko ye wono.
The unhealthy and dwindling harvest prompted their over-reliance on pesticides and other inorganic fertilizer applications in hope to cure their farms, but the situation never really changed.
Every time say me dua no ba ni fifia 2 weeks e ko na ma hono fet no 15 ne ammonia no na ye dia fra na ye dia man no ba no na aye kama saa na ye no a yale bi ba so a ezan say ye nim hu nim die nti na ye nim aha nti eno an ye de ye nana ye de te ye no ba no saa e wo sense san ya ba ama yale bi aba ya sase mu a
na ye de ammonia eli 15 ana na ye na feed ye afi no agricul for no ba sa ababo ya kakra ma yenya fertilizer yule ba ko ana 15 ni mienu aha na ye de hasia ni se ye hasia de aye nti de ewu mu no nti na ammonia ni 15 no ana ne ye de adwuma no aha ya pa fi se wo fa ba day for asa adwuma ye adwuma wo fa ba day for na ye nanka ba day numu no abaya ye ko pa abusia na ye adwuma na wi abetiti bi ama ba day for ne de ye no ye mi na ye kwa nti ama na ha ya pa kwasa na ya boka susu.
Farmers in the Kuntanase enclave are mainly into the cultivation of grains, horticultural crops like vegetables and other staple crops. The farmers fondly abuse fertilizers to boost growth in order to gain income and profits within the shortest possible time after cultivation. Patricia Boama is the Agric Extension Officer in the area.
That's what the vegetable farming, because there's cash crops, they don't want to go in for the poultry manure because it will delay them small. They normally go in for compound one. So that when you apply it, 3 months you will harvest. I don't know whether you are getting what I'm saying. 3 months you will harvest and get the cash. Going for different crops. 3 months.
And would you say that's also a challenge to the soil being acidic?
As for that one, you used to complain to them. You used to normally complain to them. They will say, oh, madam, you have know what you are talking of, but because they need money, so day in, day out, they will be adding the compound. Because without adding it, you cannot get anything. Without adding it, you cannot get anything. After harvest, you see that the soil nutrient is down. So when you plant different one, you have to apply another one. And that's why some people, maize especially, some people will harvest 3 times a year. Exactly 3 months have to harvest. You go in for the second one, harvest. Third one, you harvest because of the compound.
And that's not good.
It's not good, but because of the
Their situation reflects that of many farmers across the country who overly depend on the sole application of inorganic fertilizers to increase their yields. Excessive fertilizer applications have been found to destroy the natural soil integrity and profile. The sand samples taken from the farm of Augustine were tested for the acidity, organic matter levels, and other essential soil nutrient contents.
We do it in a suspension of 1:2.5 ratio. That is, if I take 10 grams of soil, I add 25 ml of distilled water.
After the series of tests, the sample was found to be unhealthy for the plant's growth. It had higher acidity levels of 4.7 and declining nutrients. This affirms a recent study by the Soil Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, which revealed soils in the Bosomtwe, Bosome-Frehu, and Amansia East districts were declining in fertility. 68% of soils in these three farming areas were proven to be more acidic. Dr. Francis Tete is the lead researcher.
The whole thing is that, soil health or declining soil fertility is the main challenge in crop production in Ghana now. And so the OCP Foundation of Morocco supported the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and Soil Research Institute conduct digital soil nutrient mapping for 3 communities in the Ashanti region to represent the semi-deciduous forest zone of Ghana, so that any data obtained from here can be extrapolated to the whole semi-deciduous forest zone of Ghana, especially where we grow cocoa, plantain, cassava, maize, and in fact, it's almost every crop. Looking at this community from Bekwai, Amansia East, right down to Bosomtwe, that's around the lake, right down to Bosome-Frehu, right to Nsuta. This community, we did about 110,000 hectares of land. And then looking at what we have here, it is telling us that at least 68% of the soils are very acidic. Just imagine this whole area, 68% of the land are acidic. You see, which means that we have to correct that this problem, underlying problem of acidity, before we improve crop production. We are talking about large yield gap. Cocoa, for instance, cocoa is grown here. Cocoa, we are getting about 380 kilograms per hectare, but we can get 1 ton per hectare. You see the large yield gap. And then all these soils are acidic.
Soils harbor the essential nutrients needed for plants and crop production, ultimately consumed by humans for all the crucial nutritional values. The declining soil fertilities is impacting yields, especially fresh maize, which is the main crop cultivated in the area. Efia Asensu Owusu-Ansa is the District Agric Extension Officer.
Predominantly, we are maize producers with the fresh maize. They do it all year round. So it's like it was declining. They put so much into in terms of labor, inputs like the seeds and other things. But at the end of the day, the output is so low, and then it's so disheartening. We are encouraging the youth to go into agriculture, but then it's like what they are getting is not encouraging. So that was actually the problem we were facing.
Acidity is not the only prevailing challenge. Essential nutrients like phosphorus and potassium, which are crucial for plants' growth, are deficient in the soils here.
We also have the phosphorus map. And then looking at the map, about 90% of the soils are deficient in phosphorus. So it has, and then we know the role of phosphorus. First, for root development, and then for fruiting. If you, for instance, tomatoes, you need phosphorus to form the fruits. cocoa, you need phosphorus to form the pods and seeds. Any fruiting crop needs phosphorus so much. And so when the farmers are talking about fruit abortion and leaf falls and all those sort of things, it is what? Phosphorus deficiency that is causing that. Sometimes the symptoms, you don't see the symptoms directly, but they are expressed in other forms like fruit abortion, dropping of flowers, and all sort of things. So phosphorus is also critical. We also have potassium. Potassium, as we know, is also important to the health of the plants. If you don't have adequate potassium, then virus attack, bacterial attack on the crop, because potassium helps the plant to develop thick cuticle, so that when the spores of the disease fall on the plants, they are not able to penetrate. You follow it? So it is the health minister of the plant. So what we are seeing is that we are getting declining levels of potassium also, which means that all NPK is all these elements are declining. And in fact, there was a study carried out by FAO in Ghana, which says that 57 kilograms of NPK is lost through what? Leaching, erosion per hectare. You follow it? So that tells you that soil fertility is declining. So we should be mindful of how to arrest the decline and how do we build the capacity of the soil to be able to produce for us.
Nitrogen was however found not to be declining in the area.
Because of the forest zone, nitrogen is not so critical, because the leaves will fall and there will be decomposition and then they will enrich the soil. But continuous use of the land will result in declining nitrogen, organic matter, and then nitrogen. So it's not so critical like phosphorus. And then potassium. Potassium, we are talking about 49% of the soils have been found to be inadequate. 49%. Though we used to say that, oh, the soils are adequate, Ghanaian soils are adequate in potassium. No, they are not, because we are always mining the soil. We are, as most of the farmers said, they don't apply fertilizer, but they will plant the crop, harvest, and send to the market. As you send this produce to the market, you are exporting the nutrients from the field to the market. So we should bring back the nutrients to the field, then it will become sustainable.
The fresh maize growing areas, they farm throughout the year. So you can just imagine. So it's like they bombard the soil with it, and like the soil gets hardened. So with time, we wouldn't get the output as expected. So with the introduction of the organic manure, now things have really improved. So they have not done away with the inorganic completely, like they incorporate it with the organic, so it kind of balances it with it. And then also with the other practices, like with the slashing and the burning, we've done away with it. So we try to dip the debris. When they slash, we incorporate it so that it ferments, it decays into the soil, carbon. Exactly, to improve the organic matter of the soil,
You talked about hardness of this.
Yeah.
Have you experienced one? Have you seen one?
Yes.
Tell me about it. How was it? How bad was it?
Oh, it's that bad. Sometimes the soil becomes like more of a concrete. You don't get weeds around. It's like you wouldn't even think that you've cultivated before. It's so hardened that cultivation becomes very difficult. It means that the tillage, you have to break down the soil to be able to work on it, the tillage. So it was that bad, but for now, it has really improved.
Illegal mining has become a bane to agriculture in the country, destroying many arable farmlands as they are found to use poisonous chemicals in extracting the mineral ores like gold. The three communities are known hubs for active illegal mining activities. The researchers were prevented by the miners from assessing the quality of soils in these chemically infested lands. But it has become crucial for the country and its citizens to protect the once virgin land which served the agricultural needs of the ancestors.
The soil is important. It is a non-renewable natural resource. If you lose it, you will never get it again. Our future generation will not get it again. So what we have, let's protect the soil. Let's protect the soil so that, because our great-grandfathers left something nice for us, but we are coming to destroy it, you see. So let us all work together to improve and sustain the soil.
These conditions are discouraging youth participation in agriculture in the area.
Because of the problem we've had with the fertility and other things, most of the youth have abandoned the farming venture. They are into it, but it's discouraging. Like you go for a loan to invest, and at the end of the day, you've run at a loss. Would you want to go back into it? It's like we are kind of deceiving them. But then when we know that this is the challenge, the fertility, when you are going in, just like the advanced countries, they just don't get up and just go and farm. They know what it's about. This soil is good for this type of crop and all those things. So that's what at least crop research is trying to help us. So that soil research also trying to help us. So that when the person, if it's oil power you are going to, you know this is the soil suitable for it. So you know you are in for business, and at the end of the day you get your returns. So it's like that way. It's kind of some confidence. They will have some confidence in whatever we will say.
But amidst this stark reality, the scientists are proposing solutions to restore the declining soil fertility.
So we need to correct the acidity. That is why, for instance, when the vice president was talking about the use of lime will correct this, but we have not trained our farmers to use lime. We have not sensitized our farmers to use lime. So we keep on using fertilizers. Meanwhile, all fertilizers are acidic and they all have lime equivalents, so as you use the fertilizer, you should use lime. Well, we have been having some shortcuts like using biochar, which can also increase the pH or acidity, or correct the acidity. We can also use manure to correct the acidity. But the quickest is what? To use lime. We have a lot of lime deposits in Ghana. All the cement factories in Ghana, they produce lime. But lime is a raw material for cement production. So we have lime deposits there. In Bwepe, in Sekendi, we have. But there are other deposits. I heard recently that even Bekwai, we have lime deposits, which can be tapped and then processed and then used in agriculture. Maybe if we can promote the use of lime by maybe putting subsidy on the lime, that will encourage farmers to use the lime, because when you use it and you see the difference in the yield, then you continue to use it always. Because the soils are also acidic, then we can use rock phosphate directly. Rock phosphate is the raw material for producing phosphorus fertilizer. And because of the acidity, you can just apply it. Or if it is powdery enough, you can apply it directly and work it into the soil, and then it will dissolve the rock phosphate slowly and then very effectively. Regenerative agriculture is good. That one you are talking about, non-use of synthetic fertilizers and all those sort of things. It's very, very good, except that we have to promote regenerative agriculture, sensitize them and see the profits, the benefits for now and our future.
It has become now more than crucial for the country to save its degrading soils, without which the very essence of life could be lost. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion here on the food chain. Join me same time next week for another exciting episode. My name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.